If you want to be exceptional at the politics, at engaging in the politics and making the politics work well for you and be able to maintain your integrity, there is an awful lot of things that you need to do. You need to be learning about the environment, what's going on, all the players and so on. You need to have the skills to be able to do that. But in addition, what I notice happening is people who are making this journey, moving towards mastery, are acquiring 4 additional capabilities. Now, these capabilities that I'm going to share with you now are not necessarily things that you develop directly, but are a consequence of all of the other work that we're doing on this particular course. So mastering the politics is all leading towards the development of these capabilities. So why am I sharing these now with you? Because I want you to actually understand that this is the destination. This is what you are actually developing. Because also you may wish to develop further in these and look for other routes to developing these particular capabilities so that you can become even better and to speed up that progress. It's not a part of this course, but I just wanted you to actually see what you're actually doing, so what's going on beneath the surface. And there are 4 key capabilities that we're developing here. The first one is pattern recognition. And pattern recognition is a part of computational thinking that is looking at the small pieces of evidence in your political environment, in this context, in your political environment, what is going on, the things people are saying, the things people are doing in different parts of the organization, and noticing the similarities. The reason you need to be really good at this is because a lot of the politics is not immediately visible. It's not obvious. And so you've got to actually take the clues, start to look at the way the clues are coming in from all different directions and trying to interpret some meaning, some patterns to that. Then once you start to see the patterns, you then might start to look at, well, what might be causing these? What are the fundamental themes within this political organisation that I need to be paying attention to? Part of it is about also noticing what you can ignore and what is safe to ignore. But most importantly is what is critical for you to pounce on, to really actually dig deeper into. So not directly to develop this, but as a consequence of a lot of the analyses that you're doing, particularly of lots of different powerful players in the organization, what you'll start to notice is where these patterns are, where these themes are, because you can't necessarily deal with each individual instance. So once you can see the theme, see how the pattern is emerging, the trend, if you like, you can then take more strategic action or decisions to take strategic action to interact across the whole system, across the whole organization. So that's what pattern recognition is all about. But if you want to find out more about it, go Google pattern recognition or computational thinking, and there's some really great resources that you can find out there that will help you to get deeper into this if you believe it is worth your time. But believe you me, by the time you finish this course and you do all the exercises, you'll be starting to get really good at pattern recognition. So this is the first key part of these advanced capabilities that you need to be really good at if you're going to be a real master of the politics. The second one is framing, and by that I mean being able to contextualize a particular situation or a particular instance or a particular issue in a context in a deliberate way. And there are lots of different ways that you can frame a particular piece of dialogue or a particular situation, and then really what we're saying is you can choose how to set the perspective in any interaction that you have with a particular stakeholder or a particular player in the political realm. And I think this whole thing about framing is absolutely critical if you are to become really good at not only managing the politics, but really leading the politics in your arena. And to that end, I'm not going to say any more at this point because there's another video to follow this where I go into a lot more detail on what framing is all about and why it is so important. And there's some really good examples there as well. The third capability, and if you've got this far in the course and have done the exercises, this will be no big surprise to you, is storytelling. And it feeds off this whole idea about framing, because stories since the dawn of time have been a way that people communicate with each other, the way people intuit or gain meaning and help to actually understand what's really going on. And what I've noticed in all those who are really, really good at politics is they can fit it all together as a story. They can change that story to suit the particular needs of the individual they're telling it to. So they're very aware of the audience. And by telling the story of a particular situation or a particular issue, they are able to help people to get the meaning that they want to from it. So in a way, it's a way of implementing the frame, but in a narrative type way, which is why on this course what we've been doing is we've been asking you to tell your story. We've been asking you to tell other people's stories as well, because I want to start to develop this capability in you. The world isn't black and white. Politics particularly is not black and white, and it's not black and white because so many people have got so many different ideas. But if you can engage people in a story and tell people what's led to this particular issue, where things have come from, you're giving yourself a much better position to be able to influence the way they interpret that, the way they make sense of it in their own world, rather than just leaving to that. So you could just tell them the facts and then they will interpret the facts, whatever. But if you lead them with a story, you're much more likely to get the desired result. So all master politicians are really good at helping people to understand and to gain the meaning by telling them stories. And again, this is something that you may wish to investigate beyond this course to become really, really good at. But keep coming back to this. We want you to be telling stories during this course. So any opportunity you get to spin out more of a narrative, that is helping you to develop this particular capability. And the third thing that I notice in all advanced cases of capability when it comes to the politics is this whole ability of strategic thinking. And it has to be there that, if you're managing the office politics, fine, you don't need strategic thinking because you just need to nail a particular instance, a particular game that somebody is playing. But if you want to manage the politics, remember politics being the dynamic decision-making process of an organisation, which you are a part of, and you can't get out of that. If you want to get some results, you've got to look at it in a holistic way, look at all the different component parts and come up with a sequence of steps that you need to take in order to advance your political agenda. Okay, because you need to fit people into particular boxes, you need to position other people, maybe sort of telling different stories to different people for different reasons. And it's not to say delude them or lie to them or anything like that, but contextualize the meaning for different people in different ways. That's part of the strategy. So things like the stakeholder management approach, the stakeholder mapping process are great for developing this strategic thinking capability. But unless you can see beyond the here and now, you're going to struggle with the politics because you've got to look at so many things that you can't see, if you take my meaning. So the fourth really important capability that as a total you are developing here is the strategic thinking. And as with all of the others, dive onto Google, look more into this subject, because the more you can do on this, the more you will be able to master the politics.